Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jake the Fate, and in this video, I'm going to be doing something just a little bit different than what I usually do. I'm going to be turning this guitar into a Batman themed guitar, and I'm going to explain why a little bit later. I'm going to be doing these into like parts, like, little short parts, and I'm also going to explain why I'm going to be doing that later on in the video. So without further ado, let's go to the workstation and get started on this. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is take off all the hardware, take off the strings, take off the electronics from this guitar. And I'm actually gonna sand this guitar to the bare wood. I'm not gonna paint on top of this, so I'm gonna do this from scratch. So yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna take off all this stuff and then show you guys the next steps. So I took off all the electronics and the hardware. So what I'm going to be doing is sanding this down. But since this is like a thin coat, like they just literally give it like maybe 1 or 2 coats of paint. I'm just going to start off with 120 grit sandpaper, and then go up to 150-ish. I'm gonna see what I have. And then finish it off with 320. Or probably go to 120 to 220 and then 320. Yeah, so I'm gonna get started on that first one and see how much of it comes off, because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be real easy. And I'm actually gonna sand his neck a little bit thinner for my liking. And I'll probably show you guys how to do that, because I did say I was gonna make a video on that and like completely forgot. So I'll probably just include it in this one. So yeah. Oh, and actually one thing I wanted to mention is, if this thing had clear coat, like lacquer or something like that, with like, they'll probably throw on like 3 thick coats of like actual paint. I would have started with 80 grit just to really get in there. And the fact that this thing is flat, it's gonna be super easy. And I'm gonna be using my orbital sander, and with that, it's going to be super easy because, there's no contours or nothing on this. You could do this by hand if you guys want to do this by hand. But again, it's just going to take longer. It's going to take hours, a couple hours. But with the sander, it'll probably take, I don't know, anywhere between 30 to 45, maybe an hour. But yeah, it'll be a lot quicker than doing it by hand. I might have to do these little contours over here by hand, but I'll cross that bridge when I get there. So yeah, let's get sanding. Alright guys, so yesterday I tried doing this and it didn't work out. As you guys saw, I was having some troubles there. I was using this cheap sandpaper I got from the dollar store. So don't cheap out and get stuff like this. You get like all these grits for $2 or $3. So today I went to an actual hardware store and picked up a few of these sandpapers. So I got 150, 220, and to finish off, 320. So don't cheap out. And these are also like $1.50, anywhere between there. So, and as you guys can see, what I'm doing here is I'm just placing the orbital sander, I'm tracing it out, and I'm cutting it out. And I'm using double-sided sticky tape to stick it onto it. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna show you guys. That is what it did. And I was going pretty hard on it and like kind of glossed it out a little bit. So yeah, let's hope this actually works and get this thing started. All right, so this is what I got with the, what was this? What was this? 150, I'm guessing, hoping. Wow, what the heck, yeah, 150. One thing I want to point out, right? So you guys see this right here, that this looks like wet spots? That is some that they throw before they put on the actual paint. And yeah, man, this thing worked awesome. Just took it like right off. It kept ripping, so I had to like put new pieces. So all I'm gonna have to do is probably gonna have to do all this by hand. These parts here. You guys already know sanding by hand is the best. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna go to my, what was it? Oh, 220 grit, and then finish it off with the 320. Yeah. All right, so something that I did off camera was I did the sides. I still, you know, I'm gonna get lazy with that, but I would recommend you guys, you know, really trying to get all of this sealer off. If you guys ever sanded a guitar, you guys know how annoying that is. But I'm gonna just leave it like this, and then hit it with the 220 grit. But I'm gonna show you guys a cool little trick to get this over here. You know, instead of going with your fingers like this, because that'll tire you out, trust me. Grab yourself a can of paint, any can of paint, and wrap your sandpaper around it like that. And that'll fit perfectly right in there. See that? And you guys can just sand away, like just up and down like this. You know, that really has saved my life, especially on these kind of contours right here. And it's good for, you know, working here, and you pass it like that, right here. You know, it works perfect. I don't know if you guys can see that, but obviously, you know, wrap it around. So now I'm gonna start my 20 grit, and yeah. Oh, and also, this is just a piece of 2x4 that I put some blue tape for some other project. I think it was, I don't know, but it was for some video. Yeah, you know, you can use that as a, you know, any 2x4 or 4x4. I want to use a 4x4 because that'll be like, ooh. Let's get started on the 220 grit. All right, so I gave this thing a full pass of 220 grit on the front side. And the reason why you guys want to go through grits is the 150 is coarse, so it's like, it's gonna scratch up the wood. Even though you can feel the grains on this wood, and you can also see it, but the thing is that you kind of want to make that as smooth as possible, you know? Like back here, see how like, it's like, there's like no shine to it? Over here, there's like, it's starting to shine a little bit. Because back here, it just feels rougher too. But yeah, that's the whole point of going through grits, so you can have a smooth feeling guitar, not like giving you guys any splinters or anything, if you know what I mean. right, so here it is. A lot smoother than it was. And something I want to say is that if you guys are going to use the orbital sander, you know, obviously go on top of it, but don't go on these edges because it'll eat away so much of it and you're not going to like that. So I would say get the top, back, some of the sides here, and then by hand, just like, you know, because your fingers are going to kind of like press up against it and give it that nice curve. So I'm telling you guys, because I've done that before and it's like kind of ruined it. I kind of did that right over here somewhere. But yeah, now I'm gonna go for 320 and that'll be my final sanding for now. All right, so this is going to be a pretty good example here. You see how it's going flat with the orbital sander and flat with the orbital sander here? And there's like it's kind of like a square cut right there, like around the whole thing. So with your fingers, you're able to like allow yourself to like round it out. It's a lot of work and it's annoying, but gonna look a lot better than doing it with the orbital sander and it messes up the whole thing. See that? It's a lot better because you see right here is like blocky. All of this right here, and it rounds out right over here. Right then it's just being blocky over here, rounds out. I did the front already, so it looks good to me. Just gonna finish off these corners and done. All right, so this is the picture that Nicole showed me. And I think it was actually like a video or something like that. I don't know, but it was from like Instagram or TikTok. She sent it to me and she was like, isn't this cool? I was like, yeah, it is, but I'm gonna try to do that. So that's what we're gonna do. And you see, it would have been a lot easier with the SG, having the actual SG, because it does look like Batman's like horns and you can see like his like fangs or whatever it is. So it makes more sense with an SG than a Les Paul. As of right now, I'm thinking of doing the bottom part, but I was looking at this and I was thinking of trying to like do the horns here. I don't know if that's gonna do anything to the pocket over here, and I don't want to mess with that. All right, so for this part, we're gonna get Arts and Crafty. You could use a ruler or any straight edge. I'm gonna use this broken door framing. So you're gonna wanna measure out, because you want your points to be basically the same. Like where you're gonna cut off is what I'm looking at from that picture. I might do mine's a little bit different though, because I want that big horn to kind of stick out a little bit more and those to be, it's not gonna really look like Batman, you know? Because if I do it here, it's just gonna be too small. You know, and this is gonna be something that you guys can do like as you wish. You know, like it doesn't have to be perfect like that or like how I'm doing it. Because I'm just eyeballing it and I'm just gonna see what happens, to be honest. Yeah, use a pencil for this so you guys can erase something if you guys don't like it, and you know, work like that. best that I can come up with. Not pretty. Or I think I did this too long, to be honest. It'd a little better if I cut this shorter. Right? There we go. I think that looks a little bit better. Here's gonna come the hard part, and that's this. So I'm gonna use my jigsaw to cut this thing out. Hopefully it comes out good. I'm nervous, guys. I'm real nervous, so let's hope for the best here. And I'm gonna time lapse this. If I mess up, I'll stop. But if I'm doing good, I'm gonna keep going until I finish. All right? All right, so this didn't come out as I expected it. I mean this, but I'm talking about this up here. This happened because Black & Decker, if you guys are tradesmen out there, this, Ryobi, all these brands, they suck. Plus this thing was, it's because of this. This was digging into this. And the thing is, you see, like this whole thing's like broken, bented, and I didn't think that through. I forgot that this thing was like that. Now this, I'm gonna have to like obviously fix some of these parts here, you know, with like some files. But that's gonna be in part 2 of this video. But this will be here. This is not looking too good because paint's not gonna cover that. You're obviously gonna see that. But I'm getting some ideas already as I'm looking at it, like thinking of what the Batman stories and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not getting too disappointed because it's like, remember what Bob Ross says, it's never a mistake. It's a happy little accident. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. At least this over here. You know, this over here, I wish it wasn't there, but I'm gonna have to work with that. And, you know, we'll see how this thing turns out. So if you guys want to see what this looks like. Oh, and also in part 2, I'm going to do the neck. Because I'm not going to sand that all together in this video. So, yeah, this is what it looks like. And, yeah. Alright, so it's coming out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how it's looking right now. And I want to explain why the whole Batman theme thing. I already showed you guys the picture. Like how I said, Nicole showed me that SG guitar. And I was like, damn, that looked, you know, sick. And I was thinking of getting the SG, you know, not the starter one. Yeah, the starter one, the SG Special. And I thought of, you know, trying to make my own original one. And maybe if you guys have the same guitar and you guys are like, I kind of like how that came out, then you guys can definitely go ahead and try it. And the reason why I'm going to be doing this into parts is because, you know, I love doing, you know, YouTube videos and I love sharing knowledge that I know about guitars because guitars is my passion. I love it with like everything. And over time, you know, it can consume you. It can, you know, block you from other things. You know, and the guys that watch my videos, you know, all the time, you guys know that I have a full-time, you know, construction job. You know, I do iron work. And so, you know, doing this and that, you know, really drained me. You know, it really took over my personal life. And, you know, this might be a little bit personal too. So in a few of my other videos, I've always explained that I'm in recovery. You know, I'm a recovering alcoholic. And it's just going to be a little bit hard for me to, you know, say this out in public like this, even though I've already said it on my Instagram. And if you guys follow my Instagram, you guys already know what kind of happened. But, you know, long story short was that, you know, I have to wake up to go to work at 4:30 in the morning, 5 a.m. I work till 3:30. I get home like, you know, at a good time, you know, it's not, you know, too late. But I'll start working on
guitar videos from the moment I get home till, nonstop, and I'll probably stop at like around 2, 3 in the morning, 2:30, and I got to be up at 4 a.m. again. So it was really draining, and that's the thing about this. It's a passion. We tell ourselves, wow, like I'm doing this because I love it. And when I first started my channel, I was going to work, coming home, spending time with the family, working on my guitars, obviously, the video stuff. And, it would take me like probably a week and a half, and I would post the video. And, not thinking about, oh, who's going to watch this, or am I going to get any likes on this? It was just because I wanted to put some information out there. And over the time, I kind of lacked on my sobriety. I kind of lacked on, you know, meditating every morning, meditating every night, going to meetings, and, just because I was so consumed with trying to get all these videos out, because I would come home and just boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, I can't talk to nobody right now. I need to do this. And instead of, obviously, I've always had it in my heart to help, but I would always think about, I need to get this out, and I hope I get this many views, and I hope I get, you know, more subscribers. And I realized that took over. This might be a little bit tough. It kind of led me to a relapse last week, and I felt very shameful. Everything just crumbled down. And luckily I have a few days clean, and right now it's like I'm going back to my meetings. I'm doing everything I can, but I have to take everything slow again. Take it one step at a time. That's how we say it in our meetings. One step at a time and day by day. So, and so that's why I said, you know what? Because I was gonna just completely stop. Not make any videos for a month or two. But I realized that what brought me here, what gave me all these blessings, was my sobriety and was my higher power. So, and I'm not going to be selfish for the gift that, God's given me of guitar stuff. Anything I know about guitars, it's because of the knowledge. I was never good in school. So that's the funny part, that I just know so much about it, and I learned like that. And to be able to know things and help people out there, that's part of service. And obviously I'm gonna be making videos, but I'm trying to do it, shorter videos, and like taking my time, really, focusing on myself and focusing on my, my sobriety. Because like even with the EBH videos, I would do those all night. I would try to finish that entire guitar in 3 days. I would try to, speed the drying process. And that's why there was always like little mistakes, because I was getting impatient, because I'm like, oh God, I need to finish this by this day. And, technically that's supposed to take a couple of weeks, to do one of those projects. And, and you think about it, those videos were from like 43 to like 45, almost an hour long. And, if I were to cut those down, it would have literally like gave me more time to prep it better. Even though I'm proud of those videos, I really am. I feel like I need to take my time with just like how I'm doing things, personally. So I hope you guys can understand that, and, be a little bit patient for the time being. I know it's like, and that's why like I've even like been just posting covers, because I'm like trying to just post something, just so I get enough traction, which is not really important. The importance is helping people. So that's why I started my channel. I wanted to help guys that want to know things about guitars, because a passion can turn into an addiction with anything in life. You think about the people that go to the gym. I go to the gym, but it's like when I was younger, I was obsessed. I was like, I worked at a gym, and I was there from morning till night. And it was like an obsession, that turned into like an addiction where I had to do it. And if I didn't do it, I just, it just made you feel like crap. And anything, being on Instagram, being on TikTok, watching too much TV, or being obsessed with someone, a passion, you're very passionate, can turn into an obsession. And then it could turn into an addiction where you can't be without it. So, yeah, so with this, man, like, I really hope that this guitar comes out cool. And I'm actually pretty happy that I'm doing it like this, because now that I'm going to have more time, more ideas are going to come into my head, as I'm doing it. I'm not going to be rushing it, So, like I said, I hope it comes out cool. So I hope you guys found this video useful in any way, shape, or form. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because this is all I do on this channel. Guitar reviews, guitar builds, wiring stuff, anything guitar related. And with that, I'll catch you guys on the next one.